What up, y'all? Welcome to the Cant Focus Podcast. It's your boy Kanoe at Kanoe Music. 1:30 to Cant Focus here with a reaction vid. We're going to get right into it. As y'all may or may not know, some of the biggest music industry news to ever happen has happened. Universal has pulled his entire catalog back, future, present, from TikTok. Gone. That's incredible, massive news. That if you don't understand, I'm here, man. I'm here to we can explain like I'm five together, cause I ain't the smartest. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. You know what I'm saying? Or like my uncle Charlotte say, I ain't the highest grade in the dispensary. You feel? We're gonna do a few things. I'm gonna react to a few clips and then we're gonna tie my thoughts in together. So let's get right into it. First video we're gonna get into is this video right here. It is from PBS NewsHour. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
More than 1 billion users around the world may find that TikTok is a bit less fun than it was just yesterday. As John Yang tells us, it's tied to a major showdown between TikTok and the world's biggest record label.
Starting today, songs licensed by Universal Music Group are being removed from TikTok, including some of the biggest names in music like The Weeknd or Ariana Grande.
Let me list off some of the names I have here. I got some names right here. Let's get into that. Universal artists: The Weeknd, Ariana Grande, Drake, Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Morgan Wallen, Nicki Minaj, Billie Eilish, J Balvin, Juan Luis Guerra, Jay Cortez, and probably more. These are just the ones I know. This is a global, music is being pulled globally from TikTok.
It's all because Universal and TikTok haven't been able to agree on a new licensing agreement to replace the one that expired Wednesday. Universal says it's
So that's the crux of the issue. The crux of the issue is they can't agree.
pushing TikTok on three issues: compensation for artists and songwriters, protecting artists from harmful effects of AI music creation, and protecting users from hate speech and
So I wanted to pause right here. So these are the three major points TikTok is saying, not that TikTok is saying, that Universal is saying that they can't do a deal with TikTok. Compensation for artists and songwriters. Please remember that, because in one of the videos, we're going to get to specifics of money. In one of the clips I watched, we're going to get to one of the specifics of money. Protecting artists from AI music creation. Now, this is an interesting one that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, that this video really gets into, and protecting users from hate speech and harassment. We're not really going to touch on that one today, but
protecting users from hate speech and harassment. In a statement, the company said, TikTok attempted to bully us into accepting a deal worth less than the previous deal, far less than fair market value, and not reflective of their.
Please remember this. Remember that Universal is saying that TikTok try to bully them. Please remember that verbiage and that language, because we're going to get to the history of record labels. Please remember
exponential growth. TikTok fired back, saying it has been able to reach artist-first agreements with every other label and publisher. Clearly, Universal's self-serving actions are not in the best interest of.
Now, TikTok is saying that they've reached an agreement with other labels that are not Universal. Now, may it be a coincidence that Universal is the biggest label and thus maybe thought they had the most leverage? Probably. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Just stay there with me. Stay there, right there with me.
Artists, songwriters, and fans.
I wanted to tell. So now we have context for what's happening. TikTok, Universal, they can't get to an agreement. So at the crux of it, we're talking money. We're talking AI comes secondary. That's an interesting take there. But let's get to the money, because that's what everybody's talking about. Apparently, TikTok don't want to pay Universal their fair share, according to Universal. And according to TikTok, Universal wants more than they deserve, right? Like any type of negotiation. Both sides want something and they can't seem to reach in the middle this time. Okay. Now, I'm watching the Rory and Moore podcast. Shout out to Rory and Moore. And Rory says some real insightful stuff, man. And I feel like it ties in here. And I said, please remember the number amount so that you can remember the discrepancy or the difference between what Universal gets paid from TikTok versus what they get paid from a comparable company like Meta, which we'll see that in the video. And also, please keep in mind that Universal used the word bullying because Rory's gonna say some interesting things that I like to tie into that.
Tech companies and the music industry have combined. So Spotify had this great idea, created all these routers and all this shit that made it capable.
So let me introduce this video. So right now he's talking about Spotify's history of negotiating with labels and how labels treated Spotify when Spotify came into the scene with this idea. Now, mind you, Spotify changed the game, revolutionized how we listen to music. Streaming is like the way you listen to music now. And the streaming sites existed before, but not to the capacity of Spotify. Like Spotify became the Netflix of how you listen to music. iTunes existed, but you would pay $9.99 for an album, $1.99 for a single, or you would go on like torrent sites and rip CDs and put them on your iPod. You know what I'm saying? This all existed, but Spotify changed the game. But Spotify had to go through some bullying. You know what I'm saying? Let's
to stream all music from a computer.
Mm-hmm.
But they needed the music. So naturally they went to the major labels, which all laughed in their fucking faces because they own all the back catalogs of every fucking artist ever. And it's like, why would we move to the beat of your drum and what you want and license this shit when we own what you need to even create this entire thing? Mm-hmm. It was a back and forth. Looked like Spotify was never going to exist. The result was the three majors all have ownership within Spotify. That was the only.
Now that's interesting. The major labels couldn't come to a deal with Spotify, so Spotify had to then give ownership to the labels. That's the only way the labels would have given them permission, licensing permission, is if they had equity in the company. I don't know, man. That sound like a bully to me. I just bit my that sound like a bully to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what witchcraft brujeria Lucian doing on me right now, Universal doing on me. That actually not Lucian, because Universal kind of said we don't even really make that much money from Universal Music Group. So, I don't know.
The only conclusion that they could all come to, which to me is a fair one at the end of the day. Spotify is a tech company, but they revolutionized how the masses can get music with their phones and their computers. Right. But also, why the majors are so important, whether we like it or not, own all the music that we listen to. Mm-hmm. If I'm a major, I'm definitely telling Spotify, no, I'm just not licensing some shit to you for a fee. I need to be a part of your tech company, which to me is completely fair.
Now, I think when Rory says that, I think he really does believe that. Rory's history is he worked at the labels. He was an intern at the labels. He did marketing for labels. So he might actually believe that that's a fair deal. And listen, when you come to negotiate, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. And if you have the leverage to do so, you push the needle, right? And listen, I think that it was unfair to take equity in the streaming services. I do personally, I feel that way. However, Spotify needed that to get out the mud. And in that case, I guess it's justified in the sense that, hey, you would have never been this tech giant if it wasn't for the fact that we got equity, and we would have never gave it to you because you had nothing to offer at the time. Now Spotify is kind of a giant. They can play a little different. But listen, karma, that's one thing about life, man. Karma gonna come and get you. And them tables, they turn, bro. They always turning. And it don't matter if you just a dude around the way and you treat somebody bad and you treat somebody good, them tables turn. Or if you Universal Music Group, or if you Universal Studios, them tables turn, bro. Or if you a giant country, you know what I'm saying? Them tables turn every time.
About that. So basically, TikTok paid UMG $110 million. They're paying them around $110 million per year.
So TikTok is paying UMG $110 million.
TikTok is comparable to Facebook Meta, with whom UMG had a multi-year deal with in 2022, who they're paying, I think, 3 times as much. They're paying 200 to 300 million per year.
So let's say Meta pays Universal 300 million. So that is 3 times more. So 100 million versus 300 million. Okay. So, okay, clear. TikTok pays 100 million. Meta pays 300 million for licensing agreement. Okay, let's go.
A year to license the content. So doubling, damn near tripling what TikTok is paying, right? However, you can advertise on Meta and Facebook and Instagram and all of that. It's never going to get the type of coverage that it's going to get.
Ding, 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 ding. Bingo. Right here. This is a big one right here. Okay. The last two places on the internet that you can organically grow. SoundCloud ain't it no more. You got to pay to play on Instagram and Facebook. I'm sorry, that's the truth. That's the truth. Your algorithm, you got to pay to play. Even to be a content. Yo, forget music. To be a content creator, you got to pay to play. Okay? Paid advertising. That's the truth. Last 2 places you could grow organically music. It's YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. And TikTok. And TikTok, exponential growth. Viral, for real. The real meaning of viral, of you could just be she's a runner, she's a track star, like nobody knows you, and then everybody knows you. The real definition of viral. You could be a pinky doll, right? Nom nom nom, so yummy, so yummy. Nobody knows you, and now you viral. That's TikTok. That's invaluable for your artists. In a world where record labels don't really do the promotion and the marketing that they once did because those channels is oversaturated. It's hard to tap in. TikTok figured it out. They do it for your artists. That's invaluable. But
get on TikTok. So I don't blame TikTok for not wanting to pay as much, but that is a big difference.
I don't think, this is my personal opinion. I read all the articles and I have no inside information. I think UMG went in for an actual percentage of TikTok. The same way they have done with every other tech company, how they've dealt with YouTube, how they dealt with everyone, and they were needed.
Yes.
TikTok is a platform that, of course, we know Taylor Swift records go crazy on there. We know there's dances.
He basically goes on to say that you don't need catalog for TikTok to run. And listen, man. Yes. And all types of yeses here, man. It is insane to think that TikTok could bully a giant like Universal Music Group. And it's insane that they want us to think that they're the victim when they bullied their way into ownership and stakes in Spotify. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that's probably what they try to do with TikTok. But the problem with TikTok and why you can't do that with TikTok is because TikTok is owned by ByteDance, who, I don't know if I get in trouble for saying this, but China. You know what I'm saying? China, backed by China, by a whole country. Yes. No conspiracy theory of China trying to like control the world through TikTok. But realistically, China being how they are economically, which is, country first. So whatever business or corporation comes out of this country, we going back because that's part of our economic growth. That's part of our country branding. So you're not playing with a Chinese corporation. And that's just the facts. You have a hard time bullying a company who's successful and that was on the country's radar, and their country is known to get behind them. You know what I'm saying? Now, so I said I would tie these things in. I just wanted to get your opinion. I'll give you mine, but I wanted to get y'all. Do you feel like it makes sense for Universal to walk away because TikTok didn't want to give them as much as Meta was given, considering the fact that this is one of the places where your artists could go bazoom, yep, kaboom, insane, go from here to the galaxy and beyond, because you can tour You could tour for TikTok song going viral. Your next album gonna go platinum. Your catalog is gonna be worth more if it goes viral on TikTok. Do you think it was worth walking away for the money, or do you think maybe Universal got a little greedy and wanted some of the ownership they wanted? You know what I'm saying? And what's happening over there, and overplayed their hand. They thought TikTok was going to do a Spotify and be like, "Oh no, we need you. What are we going to do? Fine, take 10%." Wasn't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. TikTok is TikTok without you. Was there without you. Doesn't need you. Has become his own giant. So if you remember, they was asking what the points are of why Universal and TikTok couldn't come to an agreement.
TikTok to pay more for the music, and they say that TikTok has refused to pay what they consider an adequate royalty. The other has to do with concerns over AI in music, artificial intelligence. Universal says that TikTok has allowed its platform to be flooded with AI-generated music, which crowds out music by real people, and also.
Now that one is kind of wild to me. I don't know how I feel about AI music, to be honest with you. I'm not saying I'm pro or against AI music. But wow, that is actually, to me, one of the crazy. I understand why Universal would want to protect the royalty pool and not dilute it by having like the infinite influx that could come from having AI music. Literally, you just code, and then 1,000 AI songs could flood every day. So I understand that. But man, you really have to feel super powerful to tell a company they can't have that on their platform no more. Honestly, if I was super, super petty, I'd probably be TikTok. I'd probably put out an independent label, just of AI music. Just because, yeah, why not? Because now I don't need you, and I'm gonna compete with you now in the real world, on billboards, on SoundScans. Probably, I would be that petty. As an artist, as a musical artist, I'm sure that you don't appreciate people just typing things in the computer and then music just coming out every day, infinite, patterns of melodies and rhythms and vocals coming out. No soul, no real life experiences, no pushing the needle forward for the genre, lacking the human artistry. I'm sure you don't appreciate that, but it is kind of bold. This is just my opinion. I feel like it's bold for Universal Music to like chop AI generated music at the feet like that.
So Universal says they're doing this for the artists, but what do the artists feel about this? Are these things the artists want?
Now that's an interesting question here, and he can answer it. You go watch this if you want to see his answer. Me personally, I think that as an artist, this is a tough one because how much of the pie do the artists really get from the deal that Universal would get? So hold on, let me see if you want to. Let me see if I can make myself clear. If I'm young rapper X, there we go, young rapper, and I'm on Universal and I have a decent following, how excited am I that Universal feels like they're protecting me because they think they should get 300 million instead of 100 million? Like, how much of that 100 million and 300 million do I really get? Versus me being able to promote and possibly market and possibly get viral on TikTok. And that directly translates to me getting coins, real dollars. Which one am I madder at? And which one is more pro artist? I feel like you're using the artist as like a vehicle to look like the victim. Universal, you probably should be paying your artists more. How do we feel for real? Do you feel like it's fair to the artists? Is it fair that they no longer could promote on TikTok because Universal felt like they could use those artists as like cannon fodder, as leverage to get to the point? Now, I don't think this will be for a very long time. I think Universal will budge. I think Universal will have to make a deal with TikTok. It might not bode well for them in the future, but you gotta know when to fold them, and you gotta know when to hold them. You know what I'm saying? And this is a fold because you can't. I just can't see you winning unless you plan on getting rid of the whole Universal Music Group department. I can't see you winning. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. I don't think this will last. I think artists need TikTok. I think Universal artists need TikTok. I think the big artists probably are going to be fine. But those guys in the mid tier and the new signs, the new talent, bro, that's how you get heard now. That's where the young kids is at. Unless you think TikTok gonna fade and there's gonna be another app, another tech app where you get music from. Yeah, I can't see it. I think, like I said, karma is karma and them tables turn. That's what happened, man. They've been bullying artists and companies their whole life, and they ran up into TikTok, and TikTok said, "Get up out of here. I just wet everything." Said, "Get up out of here." Pause. I get up out of here. You heard me? And yeah, it be like that sometimes. It be like that. Shout out to Rory Moore. Shout out to PBS NewsHour. Appreciate all y'all, man. Thank you for rocking with me and listening to my little diatribe. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, share, subscribe. Turn the little bell notification on and keep rocking with us. Cant Focus Podcast. It's your boy Kanoe at Kanoe Music on Instagram, by the way.